Hey guys, we'll be going in just a minute. Just getting back from a trip to Ohio and had to get some things set up. So we'll be live here in just a minute. Hey, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to RC Conspiracies. This week we're doing something that you guys have been asking about, talking about, and something that I know I'm curious about, and I don't have all the answers to, but it's definitely something worth talking about, and we'll see where things go from there. I know you guys have some things to say because you've been saying it in the chat and all that over on the RC Conspiracies Facebook page. I am still kind of battling a little bit of a cold, so my voice is kind of going to be in and out, and I have plenty of water to drink. Hopefully that'll take care of some of that. But I'm still trying to get all the stuff situated here on the computer because I literally drove for like 9 hours today, and then we got home about 2 hours ago-ish, and so we had to eat and then prep for all this. So we're kind of going crazy right now. And Tracy Lee says, hope I'm not a Browns fan. So it was cool. I'll tell you a little bit about it. We went for a family reunion. It was in the Hocking Hills, and there was 0 cell reception. And the cabin at the Hocking Hills State Park had no Wi-Fi. Awesome cabin, had a nice TV, fireplace, gas fireplace, all that kind of nice accoutrements. Had a kitchen, 2 bedrooms, could sleep like 6 people or something like that, maybe 7 if you use the couch. Really nice, recently redone, but no internet reception, which is kind of hard to do in this day and age. But we pressed on. The neat thing was that it was the same weekend as the J Concepts and the Samson Unchained event. It was a big deal for the Samson PEI and all that. And so they had this huge event. It just happened to be the weekend that we were there. And so I got to be a part of that, which was awesome. So that said, I did go there. I was only allowed to break away for like an hour and a half from the hiking and the trails and all of that. But it was a good time. I got to see Fred Reap and a bunch of the guys that were there with J Concepts and other people that were there, Marty and some of the others that were racing, and got to see some really cool trucks that were made, as well as a new body from J Concepts, which we'll talk about a little bit later on as one of the new things that are coming out. So with all that said, there's a bunch of you in the chat. Let's get to the chat and let's just take a quick look at what some of you guys are saying. So I'm going to have to go up a little bit. Everyone's saying what's up. We've got Chris in here, 30th Teaser Dallas, Peter RC Basher, Travis Paul. He says the Samson body looks sweet. I agree, especially the sticker package that they had on it. Now they're not set in stone on what they're going to use for it yet, but it does look really cool the way that they had it there. So, Tracy Lee, hope you're not a Browns fan. I am not. I'm from Michigan originally, born and raised, first 25 years of my life. And so I'm a Detroit Lions fan as well as a Michigan Wolverines fan. and Michigan State fan. And while we happened to be in Ohio, State got slaughtered by Ohio State. But we were saying it'd be funny to throw on some MSU stuff and go into some like biker bar there in Ohio and see what happens, right? They wouldn't take too kindly to us showing up looking like that. Doug S. says, what up, man? James Palmer says, Axial Capra. I do have one. It's still in the box. I'm not sure when I'm going to get to it. Basher Boy said that I'm going to... I take the extra time to hide all the aliens and stuff. Chris says, what's happening with Castle Creations? I don't know. So I went... Well, we'll get to this. There's a whole lot of stuff. We'll do some of this intro stuff and we'll get to it. I will say, though, going back on some other things that we've talked about in the past, I do have the Axial Capra here now. I haven't even cracked the seal on the box yet. Been too busy getting ready for this trip. Literally came in the day before we left. I was hoping to have it to get it ready and take it there to crawl around on the rocks, but it wasn't ready. So I only took the Arma Outcast and bashed that, and the Losi, the new Losi I took with me, the Tenacity DB Pro, and had some fun with that as well as doing some of the telemetry stuff, guys, which is pretty slick. I don't want to talk too much about that yet until I can actually do some speed tests with my GPS on it as well to see how close the speed is on the controller to the speedometer. But if it's close, it's going to be really awesome. That's all I can say about that. Going through the chat here. Chris is asking if I saw the new ground pounder. I did, man. That thing looks awesome. Pretty sweet trade you got there. Michael Weichel says they've been on back order for a long time. All right, so let's talk about this. So Castle Creations, I've been asking about this because I wanted to get one for my crawler that I got, that orange RGT Jeep looking kind of thing. And I really wanted to get a brushless system for the first time in one of my crawlers as I was doing this, because Pro has, all the upgraded parts already. It seemed like it needed to have a really killer system in it. And so I'd gotten it by Banggood to review for free. So I thought, well, let's put in something killer and see what we can do with it. And, my go-to system, which I say in the description, is Castle Creations. And there's a couple reasons. First reason being that every single castle that I have owned, whether I bought it or it came in a used vehicle, is still running. I haven't had a single one die on me. I haven't burned out a motor or an ESC or any of that. They've been just rock solid for me. And two, they're fast, they're quick, they're waterproof. The ones I get are waterproof, durable. I love them. I have all the programming stuff for them. I've got the Bluetooth programming for my iPhone. It's the system I like, and I'm like, all right, that's what I want to do. Couldn't find it anywhere, and so let's see here. I'm actually on the wrong screen. All right, so here's where we are, and now I've just gone and changed where we were. So we got in a comment right here by Craig McClellan saying Castle to release a new ESC. Now this, mind you, comes after several people have asked what's going on with Castle, what's going on. And I've been asking people, that was one of the first conspiracies that I was saying, is like, maybe we'll talk about what's going on with Castle. Where is that stuff? And so all of the items were back ordered that I wanted to get. And so I started putting this together on my drive home. My wife drove for about an hour and a half, 2 hours for me, so I could work on prepping some stuff since we finally had internet when we were driving. Granted, it was hit or miss again as well. But I was able to look up some stuff, not as much as I wanted to. And this is one of the things that really, got my attention, was Craig saying this. I'm like, let's just talk about it. It's time to get out there and get in front of it. And so I'm prepping. I do all the graphics and everything when I get home to make this. And it's like, are you coming back soon? And all this. And so I go on to Castle Creations website. And they've got nothing. So on their Facebook, first of all, the last thing that they posted was September 10th, 3:16 p.m. Now this is good. They're working behind the scenes, so they have no motors available. mind you. But they did make the Android app for their Castle Link, which is great because it's a really cool tool to be able to just hook up your phone and have access to the motor and the ESC and all of the timing and stuff you want to do to it. So good on them. While they're waiting for their products to be made, they've at least been working. But before that, it was July 4th. And then January 18th. So not a whole lot of posting going on. 3 this year. Ish. There's another one here. January 10th. Then back to December. So not a lot of news on their site here. Not reposting anybody that's using Castle or tagging them. So it's kind of a stale Facebook page, first of all, for a company. Like Arma, some of those guys, Losi, do really well reposting. Even Traxxas does a really good job of reposting people and the pictures that they're posting of their own stuff. Give me a second here. I need to take a quick drink of water. But so that would be something I would actually recommend to Castle. There's a lot of people that love your stuff and tag you. I'd get on that and I would use that for marketing, for growing your business. But on their website, everything pretty much says out of stock, except maybe this micro right here. That one is you can put in a quantity for that one, and then this Sidewinder 8th ESC. But most of the other stuff, the Sidewinder 3s, Sidewinder 4s, all of these are not available. Now, granted, you can find some of the systems, the combos, in your stores, like hobby stores have some of them. They have product in stock still that they haven't sold. And so there's that. Joshua Williams says he's got some insight. Michael Weichel says, pray that they're not filing for bankruptcy. Now, here's the thing. I've heard from people now that they definitely have some things coming. I've heard different theories about changing manufacturers to... Now, if you guys remember back in the day, there was this huge issue of whether or not you knew you got a true Spectrum product for people that were buying on eBay. Lots of people were buying or Castle products. I might have said Spectrum, but the Castle Creations products on eBay, and then they weren't certain that they were getting a legit one or a knockoff one. So there's that. And so maybe they're thinking, hey, let's move manufacturers. We're getting ripped off here by our manufacturer, and they're making extra motors, or I don't know. Maybe they're trying to find a better maker. I've heard some people say that the magnet maker, they couldn't find somebody to make the magnets for what they were wanting to do with them. I've heard all different kinds of things. So people are saying they lost me. We chopped out here for a second. Says we're back to good now. So hopefully I believe that. The aliens took me away for a minute there, guys. That's the hard thing about doing the live stream as well. And for the rest of you guys, one of the things that we're going to be doing is we're going to be making a... he gone. Lots of comments here about me disappearing into the nether regions. So they say I'm back. All right. We'll continue on. And hopefully we'll keep a good enough stream. Says excellent condition again. Maybe somebody started streaming videos next door. I don't know. Maybe the aliens are taking over my internet to watch Netflix tonight or the football game. We do YouTube TV, so maybe somebody's watching something and killing my feed. But back to where I was saying is, I don't know how much of this you guys heard, but I've heard different rumors about things that might be possibilities for what happened as far as changing manufacturers to supplies for the magnets that they use in the motors. and different things like that, because I was seeing October, November. I was mainly seeing November 2019 as the date for when availability would happen again. But this was way back, like months and months and months ago when I was looking for stuff. And anyway, on their website, it's just been like nothing. And yet the hobby stores, like I just picked up the Sidewinder 4. In fact, I actually just bought one on Amazon. There's like 5 left there because I couldn't buy just the ESC in the hobby shops, and nothing was available for order either. So I went on Amazon just to get one because I need one for my crawler build. So anyway, over here we see that almost all of the surface stuff is just out of stock. And then I went over to Hobbytown. And you do have stuff that's like back order. You could get their small stuff, like their connectors and their BECs and stuff like that. But again, then I came in here and I said, holy cow, arriving Thursday, November 7, 2019, they've got some of these motors you can add to cart. Some of it says ships 2 to 3 days. That's probably once they get it. But down here, they have the systems actually in stock online for like the 2280 kV crawler motors and stuff that I was looking to get. So it says ships in 24 hours in stock online. So that changed everything. I just literally went on and changed the title. So something's happened. Something's changed and products are being made again. After all of this time that we've been waiting, and we've all been talking, and I go and I set this up, and it looks like they've actually got products to deliver, which is really cool to see. I was looking on Horizon Hobby as well when I wasn't seeing it anywhere else. And, theirs are saying, an early shipment or next shipment early October for like the Mamba X systems. Sidewinder 4, I think it was one of them. The 3, it says they still have in stock. Some of these they still had stock on. But so all of these that weren't available are all of a sudden available again, except some of them say next shipment fall 2039. I don't know if that's a typo, but it's all across the board here for a lot of these. 2039 fall. I would like to think they meant 2019, but and they just copied and pasted it wrong, or maybe that's just their system marking for we have no idea when this is going to come back. So yeah, conspiracy averted. They aren't dying. That's a good thing. But one of the things that I learned through this whole process that I didn't really understand either is that Holmes Hobbies, all of their stuff works off of the Castle programming type system. So, and it integrates actually pretty well with the Castle system. So that was good to find out. And part of me was like, well, why don't they just use Holmes Hobbies to make some of their Castle motors and stuff if they're struggling to make the motors? That's a whole different topic right there. But let's jump back to the live chat for a second with you guys and see what's in there. We've got David Pig showed up. Says Castle better watch out. Hobby Wings going grab a hold of the crawler market while they're out of stock. That's what I'm saying. So David Pig, what I did is I ended up buying a Hobby Wing system. And I'll tell you what, if that thing lasts, it's an amazing system. Mine's like the 1200 kV though, because that's all that was in stock locally. I would have probably preferred 1800 kV to have a little bit more wheel speed, but I mean the power that thing has, and it's so smooth, as well as the ability to go Bluetooth to my phone with no adapter. So it's the same price pretty much as the Castle system, but I don't need a $50 adapter to go Bluetooth to my phone. I literally open the app, hit the button, it connects to the ESC. You can't drive at this point, so you can't do it while driving, but you can do it out on the trail. You can make a quick switch on the Axe system, hit save, disconnect, and be driving with those changed setups that you have. So it's pretty amazing. Now, I've never been a hobby wing guy other than the OEM stuff that comes in a lot of vehicles, like, the Arma stuff. A lot of that is rebranded hobby wing. The new Spectrum stuff, I guess, is kind of a rebrand of hobby wing as well. So, familiar with it, but Castle has been my go-to, and I would love to try their crawler motors and see what's going on. So, and what's up with that? Because I've got this capper that I got to build, and I'm still trying to find out what system I want to put in it. And seeing this stuff online now changes everything. So now the new conspiracy is, what system do I put into the Capra, and what KV motor do I want to do that, to put in? I think I want to have a little bit of wheel speed in that thing. So Scale and Trail TV says, I have the Mamba X and 2250 kV slate motor, which is their crawler motor, and he's not super impressed. Why is that? I'm curious. AZRC Fanatic says that his local shop has it in stock. So that's cool. Speed Driven RC says, wow, I'm willing to wait a little while to get another Castle system, but 2039, I mean, come on, 20 years is quite a long wait. I totally agree, man. Yeah, sorry I chopped out there for a minute, guys. I have no idea what happened there. But yeah, so that's kind of, I think there was definitely some manufacturing stuff going on with Castle. I think it does hurt them. Anytime your product is off of the shelves that long and you force your longtime buyers like myself to try something new, that's not good for you. So I ended up buying an Outrunner motor from Holmes Hobby that's brushless I'm going to try out. I've got the Hobby Wing system. I did, however, get the Sidewinder 4 ESC to run the Holmes Hobby motor, but yeah. Infamous RC is in here. RC Propaganda. JD Passel. Oh yeah, I did get some new shirts in the mail. I got this in an RC Overload shirt. So what do you guys use? So that's the next question. For your bashers or your crawlers, is there something that's your go-to motor? I've been, since the beginning. Now this is part of Josh Williams' problem, because he was the guy that told me everything I needed when I started in the hobby. And he was in here a minute ago saying he's got the scoop on what's going on. He said he has some insight, so I'll talk to him. And but yeah, I mean, so Venom batteries in the beginning, he's the one that sold me onto that, and I've been a big fan of them ever since. Never had any issues really with them, other than the one or two that I've mentioned. One of them being that it was 4 or 5 years old and just done. And then the other was a 3S, which I think I probably overdid with my X-Max in the snow, but they still warrantied it out for me. But other than that, I've been good, and just have a whole collection of old ones that I still use. All right, Peter RC Basher says he uses stock or some Dynamite motor ESC. That's interesting. Did you buy the Dynamite motor ESC after as something to put in? Or was that something else that you got from somebody or from his stock system? Travis Paul, we run Hobby Wing in our monster trucks. Great power, waterproof. Also, cool. I did the Mamba Monster Pro or Monster X in my ZRD. So it's a big boy. And that thing's been awesome. Bull gear sets for brushed. I really like the Tekin 45T. Very cool. Strat RC Hobby Wing 1080 ESC and a Holmes Hobbies Trail Crawl Master Sport and all my crawlers. Yeah, those are great quality and affordable pieces right there. The Hobby Wing 1080 is something else. The other reason, that I buy a lot of these is because they have the internal BECs, which somebody mentioned above. David Pig. I like to buy something that has an internal BEC that I can program for my servos. RC Propaganda saying that he has a Hobbywing 1080 is legit. He has one in his Element. Yeah. So that was basically the first part of what I was saying. The next thing that I saw that was really cool this week, actually just today I saw as I was driving, was something really cool from Proline. Some of you guys probably saw this today. How many of you guys saw this new Ram Charger 1977 that they released? This thing is awesome. And the other thing that they've done is really cool scale stuff, but the top actually removes from it. So here's the just showing you some of the details of it on here on the video. Back that up just a little for you to see it. But really nice looking vehicle. And it's got a really cool interior for it that's available that they actually make. Paul's here kind of talking about it. You can see how it mounts, but it's got a scale interior for it. Now it's only like a half looking interior, but it's got the dashboard seats and everything. And they actually make the roll cage available for you to 3D print yourself, as well as the steering wheel. So that roll cage there is something that they make that you can add to it. So here it is with the top off. Comes with the graphics and stuff that you can use. Interior shot. Whoops. Just killed that interior shot. Let's go back to it. But you can watch this on their YouTube channel. Really cool video as well. Well produced. But he does show the steering wheel and stuff that they give you the 3D print files that you can print your own. I'm not going to find that spot for some reason. I feel like I've missed it already. Because maybe it's, right there. That part is it has a little PL in the middle of it for Proline, but that steering wheel is available as well as a print file. But just a really well done scale crawler body by Proline, which leads me kind of to a secondary thing that I wanted to talk about, because J Concepts also released a new body, and so they've got this really cool Samson body that they released at the Unchained event that I went to. As you can see, it looks really cool. I don't have the other shots of it loaded up here because they're on my phone and my camera, but the details from the front and all that. But they've stickered out this whole back area, and they're not sure which version, because this is kind of like the current version, I believe, of the truck as far as the graphics, and they're not sure exactly which ones they're going to do for it. That'll come in the package, because I was asking about that. So it sounds like it's going to release pretty soon. They've got a few little details like that to work out, and then it should be available. But their paint job that they had done on the arms and everything, making them look like really beefy arms, was pretty cool. RC Propaganda says an internal BEC is a must. My mouth is drying out so fast tonight. I could barely talk last week. That's why I had to cancel the show. It just was not working. Travis Paul says, insert shameless plug here. Plug for what? Do you have a plug that you want to share? I might have missed something. All right, so lots of people sharing what motors and stuff they're running. That's really cool. I've learned also that when I cut these videos after the fact that I lose the live chat, so I'm not going to do that. I've been cutting off the front end of it to make it easier for people to watch without the intro. but it kills the live chat. So I'm just going to put where they actually start. So if you want to watch them later. But speaking of shameless plug, we could do that. We could do a shameless plug. If you go to rcconspiracies.com now, we have it set up as a podcast. So if you want to listen later but not watch, that is available to do. And so I'm uploading the past episodes so that I can get caught up. And they'll be able to be just listened to through iTunes and their podcasts, or this is on Podbean, and we'll be distributing it to other places. So there's that. There's a shameless plug for you, Travis Paul. And people that buy the T-shirts and stuff like that, hats, I've seen a lot of people have been buying that. That really helps. It covers some of the costs of actually doing the podcast, because unlike YouTube where you get paid, kind of, you can get paid on YouTube. Running this podcast, actually, I have to pay to have the hosting and all that for it. So anyway, shameless plug. Buy a T-shirt, buy stickers if you want to. I buy other people's. It's a cool way to support people and wear some awesome threads. So going back to the JConcepts thing that we were talking about, I want to jump over to jconcepts.net, because the question mark that I have in my head right now is, first of all, they did awesome at the Worlds, but the bodies, when are they going to really jump into the crawler stuff? That's what I want to know. They've got some, but Proline seems to really be kind of killing it, where some of these kind of seem like dual duty. You know, they're kind of, their monster trucks kind of ported over to also work on the crawlers. But like this Illusion Ford Raptor SCX10 body is not really a crawler body. This 2016 Ford's all right. Some of these. This is the newer one, the 1982 GMC K10. This one is the one I really like. It's built specifically for the TRX4, like as far as wheelbase and all that. So it will work with other things. But they, I guess, know that the market is, so many people do TRX4 now that they're kind of branding it that way. But it's a cool looking body. If you like the bow tie or the GMC, sorry, not a Chevy. But it's a good looking truck. I would get one of these. It says it works on the SCX2, Element Enduro, Axial SCX10. So lots of options. They've also got some tires and a wheel package, it looks like, coming. But I'm just wondering, like, it seems like such a huge market. And we've seen several monster truck bodies come out from them. And, we're not seeing the trucks to put them on come out. So it seems like the scale monster trucks, while it's growing, they're also not getting a whole lot of support behind them other than people making pro stuff. They're not getting the general market push that they used to. Like with the SCM10 missing is kind of a big, huge, miss for a lot of these other companies making the scale stuff for them. But the crawler stuff is going gangbusters, and it just seems like a huge market. And I'm a big JConcepts body fan, so I kind of wonder if we'll see more from them this coming year in this scale market or not. So that's all I'm wondering. I mean, I do like Proline stuff, but I'm just kind of curious. Travis Paul says fits the Pro C perfect. Now, I think he's talking about the Travis, which one are you talking about? The new Samson? StratRC says, I'd love to see JConcepts start making more odd-shaped monster truck bodies. Like he says, I don't think this is showing still, Captain's Curse, Dragon, etc. Yeah, I could see that. I mean, one of the ones that I really want is Zombie. I know that requires a lot of extra stuff. Zombie is cool. But there's so many of them that are kind of odd-shaped, The Monster Mutt, people could do Dalmatian, all different kinds of stuff if they wanted to. But But yeah, there's licensing and all that involved, which gets a little bit trickier. So they work with, Dennis Anderson. They're not necessarily working with, because Feld wants a lot of money. I'm just gonna guess that straight up, that Feld wants a lot of money to have any licensing for legit stuff. I know that J Concepts is able to work through some of these other smaller, not smaller, but these guys that aren't under the Feld contracts that can license their own products. And so he has that availability to kind of work with them, and there's friendships and all that involved as well, and so it's, I think, a little bit easier. And so the Dennis Anderson stuff with like the Bog Hog and the King Sling, that stuff isn't sold out to Feld, and so that they're able to work with, I think, Dennis directly, as well as Dan Patrick directly through Samson and PEI and all that. Now I wonder if there's some other ones that they could do inside of that line, but I don't know. I would love to see somebody making more of that, even if it's I wouldn't mind if it was Horizon Hobby that did it and they were already pre-painted, honestly, for some of those really detailed ones like that they could really trick out, like Zombie. So that is one kind of conspiracy that I do have in the aftermarket world, is the crawler trail scene is so big right now, and people always want to mod theirs out with whatever specific trucks and things that they like, that it seems like there's a huge market for bodies in there, as well as tires, which are the two things that J Concepts does, in a performance way, in a racing way, that they could bring over and, work with the scale side. I'm curious. So Chris says that Bari makes Zombie. I've heard that, and I need to talk to him about that. I saw at this event there was a zombie fire that looked super legit, that I think Bari made, and it's spectacular looking. It looked just like it looked just like the one that Bari had, so I'm pretty sure that Bari made it. Beyond that, those are the two main things that I was thinking about talking about, was the castle stuff, which is kind of looks like stuff's actually coming to market again, and so that's exciting. It has been a conspiracy, and we still don't know exactly why it's been so slow, and why. Because usually they ship stuff by containers, and so I don't know how many containers they do at a time, any of those kind of numbers, but there's still a lot of not available product, especially on their own website, because I'm sure they're getting it out to distributors like straight away. But it's curious why there's not more of them coming in. Because it's a pretty big hole, and it's still, depending on where you go, hit or miss. And I don't know all the details behind it. I've heard different things. I kind of shared that earlier about what people have told me it could be, but I don't know the truth to it. I haven't spoken to anybody directly with Castle about that. Chris is saying his Blue Thunder body was painted by Harold Davenport. Yeah, that thing turned out awesome. He said, as well as same with El Toro Loco. Yeah, I think some of those custom bodies are really, really cool. And I know that the market is small for them, especially compared to what I think could be happening in the scale market. And that's why I'm just a little bit curious about why we're not seeing more on the scale side from J Concepts. So, RC Propaganda says he heard manufacturing issues. That is what I heard as well, with parts availability and changing manufacturers are two things that I heard. Anyway, I don't know. Next time, if you guys have any suggestions, I'm not sure that we're going to be doing one next week. I'm going to be in DC for work, and it depends on whether I stay the night there. If I stay there, I might be able to do something from my hotel room. If I don't stay the night, I'll be driving back that evening, and so I won't be able to do it from the road. So maybe I'll do one of the midweek ones that I've done before on Wednesday to make up for it. But I'll let you guys know on the Facebook group the changes and details with that as well. Swampers RC says J Concept is race oriented. It definitely is. But every company is money oriented to a degree as well. And so wherever there's a market where they can sell a lot of products, it's one that they like to look into. Now, I mean, they've got to have molds and all that made, and there's costs involved. But I do know that they make their bodies in-house. J Concept does. They have the mold made, and then they make them in-house. So it comes down to licensing and then molds and, other things as well. But it just seems like they make so many cool truck bodies for monster trucks, and not all of that ports over perfectly to crawlers. But you just know how many people like the scale stuff. Like, I'm still waiting for the great cool scale SC, or not the SCX10, but the S10. Like late 80s, early 90s S10s. So just kind of jumping into the chat here. RC Propaganda says, yeah, took the words out of his mouth. Anyway, guys, that's just all what I was thinking about for today. There's not a whole lot extra that I had as far as conspiracies. I know that more is coming from Kraken tomorrow, so you want to keep an eye out on that if you're interested in their Striker. That's a pretty cool looking rig. I like what they're doing. There's going to be a kit coming out. Pull this up here real quick. We'll take a quick look at the Kraken Striker announcement that they're talking about. So if you're not signed up yet and you want to get in on their early deal and pricing, you need to do that today, because they're going to go public with it tomorrow, and they're going to have kits available in the beginning that are going to have clear Lexan panels so you can paint your own colors and all that. And that's going to be the first thing that they're offering. I liked this thing when it was first announced. I think that Kraken does cool stuff just in general. And when they did 10 scale of this, I was kind of like, well, that's kind of an interesting market to get into. Is kind of like a side-by-side style unit. I don't know what the market is for that compared to like a truck or some, one of their other solid axle rear trophy trucks that they make in the 5th scale. I would have maybe just made that smaller, but the more that I look at this thing and the stance that they have for it, it's really, really cool looking. And so I'm really interested in it now. And so I'm going to be looking into whatever they talk about tomorrow, because I'm curious what it's going to be as far as pricing and all the details on the kit. But yeah, they've got some new pictures and stuff over on their Indiegogo to look at. This is probably where I saw the limited edition Black Rhino version here. It's pretty cool for the early subscribers. And it's also going to come with a metal diff casing. But yeah, I'm kind of digging it. So I'm going to be checking it out. Their UTV, they say it's hyper realistic, true scale. But yeah. Scale and Trail TV says, hope this works for Kraken. If it's produced, I'll buy one. Jake Ryman says he's almost finished his Capra. That's awesome, dude. Garrett says this truck's going to be awesome. Definitely need to get a Striker. He's going to wait till somebody drops a roller. So, yeah. He says, have you guys seen the rear end setup? It's exactly like a real side-by-side. Yeah, it's very crazy. I mean, it's different than an RC completely. And like you said, it is like a real side-by-side. It's pretty cool. So that was Garrett that said that. RC Propaganda says he saw a lot of Capras at the crawl for a cure Saturday. That's great to hear. Good to hear that Axel has one that people are really getting on board with. This seems to be one. There's a lot of excitement that they've been able to drive behind this product, and I think that's really awesome that there's some excitement about their new rig, the Capra. I know like the initial stuff was like, come on, don't just show us dates and names and stuff. We want to see some stuff. Eduardo is asking, what servo would you get for a Super Rockray that won't break the bank? What size is it? Is it a 10th scale Super Rockray? Or is the Super Rockray the big one? The Super Rockray is the big one, right? Because there's the Rockray and the Super. I don't know, man, offhand, what I would get for the Super Rockray. Does anybody in there have a recommendation? I mean, you're going to definitely be dealing with some of the bigger. What size servo is it running in the first place? I don't even know. That's something that we can maybe, if you hit me up on Facebook, we can talk about it there. It'll give me a chance to maybe take a little look at some stuff. Swampers RC says Power HD. So that'll be something that you could look into. I offhand don't know the sizing of the servos and stuff that they use for that. It's probably a 5th scale servo because it's a 6th scale truck. So, you know, you're going to be looking at something that's fairly expensive just in general because of the size of those. You're not going to find very many of the super budget ones that you find in the 10 scale. So, anyway, guys, that's a quick look at what's going on with Castle. It looks like things are starting to come to market. When I was just going to question it, finally do a conspiracy on it. The conspiracy is that there isn't one. They are working hard behind the scenes, and they're starting to get some stuff to market. Hopefully that the manufacturing process is going to ramp up for them, and they're going to get stuff on the shelves before Christmas, and so people can have a choice of products that they want for their vehicles. So anyway, I'm still fighting this cold. I'm not going to keep talking. But thank you guys again for tuning in as always. If you have any conspiracy ideas, be sure to hit us up on Facebook or Instagram. Let me know what you're seeing, what you're hearing. Even if it could be about something or somebody in the hobby. It could be about a channel, a YouTube channel, something that they might be planning to do or they're talking about doing and it's coming up and we want to talk about what we think might happen when they actually do it. I'd mentioned, is RC Sparks, are they going to be able to get 130 grams for YouTube Gold? Because they were like at 124 last time I watched, but then like they got a ton of snowfall, or I knew winter was setting in for them or coming quickly, and so I wasn't sure if they're going to get it or not. And who knows what they've already shot as well. So, and it's just being edited, but how much are they going to get? But thanks for tuning in as always, guys. Again, let me know what you're hearing, and we'll keep these going and rolling. But I do thank you for tuning into these and for the excitement that we have going with it. And be sure to check out the podcast page when you get a chance, and we'll get more of that going in the future, and that'll probably be available the next morning or the morning after the show, so that you'll be able to listen if you do miss an episode. So, all right, guys, we'll catch you later.